Have you ever wondered how secure your iPhone really is? Well, the discovery of a highly sophisticated iPhone hack in 2023 might make you think twice. In the vast, interconnected world of the internet, a new menace emerged, a spyware attack dubbed Operation Triangulation. This wasn't your average garden variety cyber assault. No, this was something far more insidious. A highly sophisticated campaign that targeted Apple iOS devices, the very same ones many of us hold in our hands every day. This spyware didn't just sneak past the usual defenses. It deployed never-before-seen exploits to bypass hardware-based security protections. Imagine a cat burglar, not just picking the lock, but phasing straight through the walls. Now that's a frightening thought, isn't it? Kaspersky, a major player in the world of cybersecurity, was the first to uncover this digital specter. Their research suggests the campaign had been active since as far back as 2019, lurking unnoticed in the shadows of our devices. That's right. For approximately 4 years, this spyware could have been silently gathering information, all while we were none the wiser. The initial strike was as subtle as it was cunning. An innocent-looking iMessage, much like the ones we send and receive every day. Attached to it, a malicious payload, a Trojan horse in digital form. Once opened, it granted the attacker elevated permissions, opening the door to our devices and allowing them to plant their spyware module. But here's where things get really interesting and rather alarming. This hack was no ordinary attack. It exploited not one, not two, but 4 zero-day flaws to gain access to iOS devices and gather sensitive information. It's a stark reminder that even the most secure systems can be vulnerable. And when it comes to cybersecurity, complacency can be our greatest enemy. So what made this iPhone hack so sophisticated? Let's delve into the specifics. The initial attack was as simple as it was ingenious. It all started with a seemingly innocuous iMessage. Buried within this message was a malicious attachment, cleverly disguised to lure in the unsuspecting victim. Once opened, the attachment unleashed its payload, allowing the attacker to obtain elevated permissions. Now, with the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, the attacker was free to deploy a spyware module. This spyware was no common variety. It was a master of subterfuge and stealth, silently infiltrating the device and gathering sensitive information. It was like a ghost in the machine, undetectable and unstoppable. But what really set this hack apart was the exploitation of a specific vulnerability, designated as CVE 2023-38606. This was not just any vulnerability. It allowed the attacker to bypass hardware-based security protections for the kernel memory. Think of it as a secret passage, a backdoor into the very heart of the device. This vulnerability was specifically targeted at certain Apple devices, those with A12 to A16 Bionic SoCs. The exploit cleverly utilized unknown MMIO blocks of registers, a hardware feature that even now remains shrouded in mystery. Its origin and purpose are unknown, adding yet another layer of intrigue to this sophisticated hack. The exploit was so successful that it became a critical component of the Operation Triangulation campaign. It was their ace in the hole, their secret weapon. And the scariest part? It wasn't something anyone saw coming. The hackers had found a chink in the armor, a blind spot in the defenses, and they exploited it to devastating effect. The success of the Operation Triangulation campaign relied heavily on this vulnerability. It wasn't something anyone saw coming. It took a while for this information to become public knowledge. Let's talk about the aftermath. Apple, in response to the Operation Triangulation spyware attacks, released patches for some of the vulnerabilities as early as January 2023. However, the full magnitude of the exploitation was only made public in September of the same year, almost 9 months later. A substantial delay that left many users vulnerable for an extended period. The public wasn't the only ones taken aback by these revelations. When Apple issued warnings about state-sponsored spyware attacks on Indian journalists and politicians, the Indian government responded with skepticism. Apple was asked to withdraw the warnings and provide alternative explanations, a response that indicated a lack of readiness to confront the reality of the sophisticated digital threats we face today. This incident has sent shockwaves through the tech community worldwide as it underscored the global implications of such attacks. It was a stark reminder of the importance of maintaining digital security, even in seemingly secure devices. The implications of this hack were far-reaching, reminding us all of the importance of digital security.